Welcome back for a new video game pickups and another retro edition pickups. First up in this one, we have a series of 3 games specifically I was able to get a set, and for a really good price. All for the PS2. First up, of course, we have Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. And it actually, instead of using CG cutscenes, it uses actually full like clips from the actual Lord of the Ring movies, which is actually quite interesting. Next up, we have Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Surprisingly, this one is actually factory sealed, but it is awesome. I do find it interesting how Fellowship of the Ring does not use actually any pictures or anything from the actual movie, while the other two do, which I find fascinating. And of course, last but not least of the 3, Lord of the Rings Return of the King. And this one even offers, as it says, online broadband only, like some online features, which I think is quite fascinating in all honesty. And I think it's cool to finally have all 3 of the Lord of the Rings. Plus, it's official thanks to the cool sticker stating that. Next up, we're gonna go backwards a little farther, back to the era of the Sega Genesis. First of 2 Sega Genesis games is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I already had a copy of this, but I didn't have one complete in box. So I was definitely happy to finally get one of these complete. Now, so it is nice to have, finally, full complete. And believe it or not, I got this really, really cheap, which surprised me. The other one, because of lately I've been on a kick of recollecting a bunch of indie games, I decided to pick back up a game I haven't played in quite a long time on the Genesis. Ecco, though I actually owned Ecco the Dolphin. I've never actually played Ecco the Tides of Time, so I'm actually kind of curious what the difference is. But definitely very intriguing. And I got this from the same person I got the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 from, which is good. Well, it's definitely relatively interesting. Ecco has always been a very unique series. Now, sadly, this is a reprint booklet rather than the original booklet, which does kind of suck, but still, probably one of the reasons I was able to get for such a good price range. And given the case and the cartridge are all in mint condition, honestly, makes me happy. So it's nice to actually have a couple more Sega Genesis games. Now we go into original Xbox, and we have a few interesting ones. Some you've already seen from an unboxing. The first of which Dr. Moto, or Muto, however you want to say his name. But doesn't change the fact, very unique platformer game by Midway, which of course, as I mentioned before, is best well known for their arcade games as well as fighting games, not really platformers. Which makes this game very unique, and given with different worlds you transform into different types of augmented animals. It's kind of unique and weird. It's a very interesting game, that is for sure. And surprisingly, not a lot of people talk about this game, which I find fascinating. Next up, we have one actually quite a few people have talked about over time, but I've never actually had the honor of actually trying out the the Tasmanian Tiger series. Of course, as you see there, by EA Games, which is definitely interesting, known for having some interesting boss battles and interesting characters. Now, funny enough, this was actually developed and done by a studio actually in Australia, which is quite interesting. So you might say it's a lot of characters or stereotypes in this, but it's stereotypes done by actual people from Australia. So take that for what you will. But very interesting, and yeah, this is the first one. There was like, I believe 4 Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I might eventually look into trying out some of the others, we'll see. It depends on the price range, as long as I can get them for the same price I was able to get the first one for. But it's going to be an interesting experience when I get around to actually playing and reviewing the game, which I do plan on doing. Now, second to last, we have another interesting game. Actually, I found this one practically dirt cheap in mint condition. So, I was like, heck yeah. Plus the fact Carmen Sandiego. And it sounded interesting. It's a platformer. Carmen Sandiego, The Secret of the Stolen Drums. Alrighty then. Which sounds interesting and unique. Graphically, nothing really impressive overall. Just looks like another stereotype, like a third-person action platformer. But still, with a Carmen Sandiego, like, I guess you could say, mix or flair to it. And I know nothing about the game studio, BAM Entertainment. So it's gonna be interesting. Try a game from a studio I know nothing about. Last but not least, you hear the music in the background playing from this game. And that is Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. This is a game I've actually wanted to try off and on for years. I never before had the opportunity to get this, and I found it probably one because the case is not in great shape, which I can replace, but I was able to get a lot cheaper than I was expecting because of it. But this is a game I've wanted to try for a long time. It's pretty highly regarded by many fans of the original Xbox, and of classics from THQ. Though there was recently like a remastered version released on the Switch, which has, I think, revived some interest in this game. But given the praise I have heard from a couple of people that I know, I'm looking forward to trying this myself and give my own perspective on the game. But all in all, that is it for this retro edition of Video Game Pickups. And of course, I'm sure you noticed the main theme is the majority are platformers. Like I said recently, I plan on doing more platformer game reviews in the future. And we'll see what else. I do have a few announcements in the next few weeks in February. So stay tuned for those game review announcements, because I'm going to be announcing 3 video game reviews that I'm going to be working on. So stay tuned for that, and stay safe, and have a good 2021, everyone. See you next time.